When European man came to North America, he found a vast grassland covering the central continent. Through his ignorance, to date, over 99% of this magnificent ecotype has been lost. In recent history, there has been an increased interest in native plants and their associated communities. Perhaps man has finally realized the importance of native grasslands. After all, they are the vegetation that developed there naturally. Native prairies once covered the eastern two-thirds of the United States and were dominated by warm season grasses. The heartland of America represents the true prairie, while isolated islands of prairies occurred in forest openings eastward to the Atlantic. Simply stated, a warm season grass grows and develops during the warm months of the year, as opposed to a cool season grass which grows during the cool months of the year. As a general rule, their seed matures in late summer or early fall and are dormant in the late fall through early spring. Native grasses are well adapted. They have developed naturally under local climate and soil conditions. They achieve good growth even on marginal soil. Native grasses are low maintenance. This time budget table for a typical 20-acre native warm season grass planting shows once a stand is established, it requires minimal input of time and effort. In addition, native warm season grasses do not require herbicide or pesticide treatments, and fertilizer is not necessary unless intensively managed. Native grasses have extensive root systems. They are deep-rooted with fibrous root systems from 5 to 15 feet deep. This root system provides excellent soil holding capabilities and drought tolerance. 90% of the humus native grasses produce is from the regeneration of the root system, therefore increasing soil fertility and organic matter. There is a complete regeneration of the root systems every 3 to 4 years. Native grasses provide dependable forage production. Yields will fluctuate less as a result of variability in weather. Disease and insects also have less effect on mixed stands of native grasses compared to introduced exotic species such as fescue. Native grasses provide lush grazing during the summer months, which allow livestock to gain weight throughout the summer. This table compares the gains of steers grazing a cool season grass rotational system versus a cool season warm season rotational system. The steers on the cool season warm season system had an average daily gain of 0.4 of a pound more than those on the cool season only system. This pasture calendar shows how the growth of warm season grasses complement cool season grasses, making the previously mentioned summer gains possible. Native warm season grasses are excellent for wildlife. They provide cover for nesting, and mixed stands of grasses and forbs provide a diversity of seeds and insects for young and adult birds. Grasses provide green browse during the summer and remain upright during heavy snow and ice. Native grasses are cost effective. It's true that in many cases the seed is more expensive than many cool season grasses, but seeding rates are lower. Input costs are similar to or less than those for a cool season grass legume mixture. One can now establish native warm season grasses at similar costs to many cool season grasses. Native warm season grasses are attractive. They produce varying shades of blue and green in the summer and red and gold in the winter. Their seed heads are attractive as well. Native warm season grasses are being used successfully in forage programs, reclamation revegetation projects, erosion control, wildlife habitat, roadsides, landscaping, and beautification projects. Although there are hundreds of native plants and grasses, there are 4 grasses of major importance to the tall grass prairie. They are big blue stem, Indian grass, little blue stem, and switchgrass. Side oats grama and eastern gamma grass are also commonly known. Researchers recognized as early as the mid-40s the potential for improved varieties of these native plants and began selections for cultivars. Work is still continuing to offer improved warm season grasses. These varieties have been selected and propagated from native plants which exhibited desirable characteristics such as geographic adaptation, seedling vigor, forage production, palatability, disease resistance, and others. Considered the king of native grasses, big blue stem is a hardy plant with root systems as deep as 12 feet into the ground, giving this plant its extraordinary capacity to withstand drought. Growth begins in early April. However, major growth begins around June 1. Big blue stem plants can reach a height of 8 to 9 feet. The seed head usually branches into 3 parts, giving it its nickname, turkeyfoot grass. Big blue stem grows in large clumps and is extremely leafy. Few, if any, of the prairie grasses can equal its quantity and quality of forage. Big blue stem turns a reddish gold after frost. Big blue stem varieties of major significance are Kaw, Round Tree, and Pawnee. Indian grass is often chosen for landscaping and beautification because of its golden color in fall and large plume-like seed heads. Indian grass produces an extensive root system that grows from 8 to 10 feet deep. Indian grass does well on all soils except those saturated for an extended period. Indian grass produces 70% of its total growth after July 1st. 5 to 7 feet tall plants are normal. Wildlife biologists recognize Indian grass's importance for wild bird nesting and rearing. Varieties of Indian grass include Osage, Cheyenne, Rumsey, and Nebraska 54. Little blue stem is a common native grass, found in nearly all states of the United States. At one time, little blue stem was the most abundant grass in the Central Plains. Little blue stem is a perennial midgrass with a dense root system that may reach 5 to 8 feet in depth, which enables it to grow on even the poorest and roughest ground. Plants of little blue stem grow from 2 to 5 feet tall and produce bluish-green, fine leaves that turn red in the fall. Recently, little blue stem has been used as an ornamental grass. Varieties include Aldous, Cimarron, and Blaze. Switchgrass is probably the most popular warm season grass. This is mainly due to the hard seed, as opposed to the fluffy seeds of the other warm season grasses, making switchgrass easier to handle and plant. Switchgrass is a sod-forming tall grass. It is most commonly found in prairie lowlands, but will grow under a wide range of soil and climatic conditions. Roots extend to 10 feet deep, and plants grow from 3 to 8 feet tall. Switchgrass is drought tolerant and winter hardy. Switchgrass provides excellent cover for wildlife because of its ability to remain upright under snow and ice. Major varieties include Caven Rock, Blackwell, Alamo, and Canlow. Many people have the perception that native warm season grasses are difficult to establish. This is generally not true, though they do require more patience and attention to specific detail compared to establishing other grasses. Native grasses can be planted no-till or into conventional seed beds using a specially designed drill or broadcast on conventional seed beds using special techniques. If planting into an ag crop field, check the herbicide history of the field. Be cautious of any herbicide with a long rotational crop restriction for any of the grass-type crops like wheat or corn. No-till planting can be done into crop stubble such as the previous year's wheat or the previous year's soybean stubble. Native grasses can also be no-tilled into a cool season grass sod such as fescue. The first step in no-tilling into a sod is to kill the existing sod with a glyphosate herbicide. Roundup, produced by Monsanto, is commonly used. The treated sod is then drilled with a specially equipped drill. Excellent results can be expected with good control of the cool season sod. This is a stand of big bluestem which was no-till drilled into a treated fescue sod. In some areas, the drill rows are visible. Seedbed preparation for conventional drilling of native warm season grasses is similar to that for other ag crops. Cool season grass sods should be plowed. Fall plowing fescue sod gives the best control. However, use some common sense. Leave drainage areas and field borders unplowed to avoid excessive runoff. A firm, fine-textured seedbed is desirable. Cultipacking or rolling is strongly recommended before planting. A rolled or cultipacked seedbed will be firm and fine-textured as shown here. Whether no-till planting or drilling into a conventional seedbed, a rangeland drill is necessary to handle and plant the chaffy native grass seeds, big bluestem, Indian grass, little bluestem, or side oats grama. The major differences in rangeland seeders and conventional grass drills are the agitators in the seed box, used to keep the seed fluffed up and flowing, and the picker wheels, which reach up into the seed box and physically grab the seed to draw it into the drop tubes. Native warm season grasses can also be broadcast with special precautions and procedures. Seedbed preparation would be the same as for drilling or conventional ag crops, provided you have a firm, fine-textured seedbed and roll the planting after broadcasting. Switchgrass can be easily broadcast with an in-gate seeder with no special procedures. However, the chaffy grass seeds will need to be mixed with a carrier such as wheat or oats, lime or potassium, or phosphorus fertilizer only, not nitrogen. A lime or fertilizer truck can also be successfully used as long as a carrier is used to help the seed flow and spread. This field shows the difference between a drilled planting and one which was established by broadcasting. The left 1/3 was drilled and the right 2/3 was broadcast. Regardless of planting method, no-till sod, no-till crop stubble, conventional seedbed, or broadcasting, the ideal seed depth is 1/4 inch. Seed deeper than 1/2 inch will be wasted. Seed between 1/2 and 1/4 inch, if conditions are less than desirable, may or may not emerge. 1/4 inch to the surface will give the best results. Newly established stands are generally characterized by annual grasses or weeds. This is a 12-week-old stand of big bluestem. The majority of the grass you see is foxtail. Evaluation of new stands can be difficult. New seedlings are small and spindly. Native grasses expend most of their energy the first season establishing their extensive root system. Compare the native grass seedlings against this notepad to the nearby foxtail. It is easy to see that overshading can be a problem. However, if weeds and grasses allow plenty of sunlight to penetrate to the ground, it does not present a problem. If weeds do become a problem, mowing is the recommended method of control. Although shading can present competition problems, illustrated by the foreground, you can also see there are a number of plants growing in this area. Over time, they will fill in, and ultimately, the shading will not have presented a major problem. As with establishment, there are specific details of native warm season grass management that need to be observed. If you are not the type of person who is willing to apply some management to your native warm season grasses, then native warm season grasses may not be for you. However, as long as the basic management guidelines are followed, you can expect a long-lived, healthy, productive stand. Management techniques for native warm season grasses are burning, haying or grazing, or no disturbance. When haying native warm season grasses, to maximize both quantity and quality of forage, hay when the seed head is in the boot. Now this is what I mean by the seed head in the boot. If you take a look at this plant, you'll see that this seed head is just beginning to emerge from this sheath of leaves. When you cut your hay at this time, the protein will be the highest in relation to the quantity of hay that you can get. Haying of native warm season grasses is typically done in late June through mid-July. A minimum stubble height of 6 to 8 inches needs to be left for healthy, productive grasses. When harvested at the proper height and time, regrowth is adequate for good winter cover. The left 2/3 of this field was hayed in mid-July at 6 inches. Compare the regrowth to the undisturbed grasses on the right 1/3. Native warm season grasses need to be allowed some time to establish themselves each year before grazing. Plants need to be allowed to grow to about 14 inches or so before turning cattle in, and cattle should be removed when the stubble height reaches 8 to 6 inches. This big blue stem is about the right height to begin turning cattle in on right now. Do not overgraze native warm season grasses. Plant health and stand quality will be affected. Cattle were removed from this Indian grass pasture when they grazed it to the height of the pen. This picture shows the 1-week regrowth when cattle are removed at the proper time. Burning of native warm season grasses is the most cost-effective management tool available. Timing of the burn varies with the management objective. Generally speaking, early spring burns favor forbs, while late spring burns favor the grasses and are used to control unwanted vegetation. Burning requires specific knowledge and should not be done without proper training. For that reason, we will not cover the details here. A mature, productive warm season grass stand is an asset to your program, whether it is designed for livestock, wildlife habitat, reclamation, erosion control, roadsides, recreational use, or the general improvement of the natural environment. Manage your native warm season grasses properly, and they will be a valuable resource for generations to come. A newsletter, The Native Grass Manager, a quarterly publication which presents information about native warm season grasses, is available from Environmental Repair Services. In addition, Jeff Hodges, founder and owner of ERS, is available for consulting services or speaking engagements. For a brochure about the services offered by Environmental Repair Services or subscription information, write Environmental Repair Services, Post Office Box 152, Clinton, Missouri 64735. Additional copies of this video are available from Environmental Repair Services.